Today's movie is the greatest film about Terminator since T2 Judgment Day. Look, I'm not even joking. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're covering Jalil Jackson's Indonesian horror action hybrid, Lady Terminator. Released in 1989, Lady Terminator takes Indonesian folklore and American action cinema and mixes them together in a heady concoction that must be seen to be believed. It's the kind of film that if you saw it late at night, you'd be positive you dreamt the whole thing the next morning. This one literally has it all. A half-naked female Terminator with a snake living in her lady parts who hunts down a mystical necklace that does something. I mean, what more could you ask for? But can Lady Terminator blast her way to a 5 barf bag rating? Let's get to the gore and find out. We fade in on the universe vomiting on us. I feel like this might be symbolic of what lies ahead. Only 108 sounds? That doesn't seem like very many. After a very brief title card, we cut to Endless Summer. $20 says this is Bruce Brown's footage. Man, this film is grainier than a Nature Valley granola bar. You know what would make this even more amazing? Some Godfrey Ho level voiceover.
Sometimes the past should be left to memory.
Oh yeah, I like where this is headed. Back on land, we jump to Karate Kid 2. Use the drum technique, Daniel-san. But instead of fighting in the ruins, there's fornicating. Oh my god, it's Asian Wayne Newton. Wayne's doing his best Wilson Phillips impression and trying to hold on. Just think about baseball stats and dead kittens. Baseball stats and dead kittens. He's really putting in some work. Dude went so hard he popped a blood vessel or something. We've all been there. I must have forgotten the opening sex scene that kicks off the original Terminator. I bet these two are trying to conceive John Connor.
Is there any man who can satisfy me?
Don't look at me, lady. I've suddenly gone impotent. This guy's up to the task, though. He's looking very Fantasy Island. Or like he just got off his shift on the Love Boat. I could go either way. Good God, he's pulling the Sistine Chapel pose. Thank Christ he kept his pants on. That pose works every time because she's dropping her dress already. They get down to business, and just take my word for it because 5 minutes in and this movie is already a minefield of PrudeTube community standards violations waiting to explode. And somehow this culminates with him pulling a snake out of her lady parts.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean, he really pulls a snake out of her lady parts. Man, this is just beat for beat like Cameron's Terminator movie so far. I totally remember Kyle Reese ripping a snake out of Sarah Connor's nether regions. Anyway, it gets weirder because he turns the G-Snake into a dagger. But it's no match for her pimp hand. But instead of killing him, she gives him one of the most indirect threats ever.
In 100 years, I'll have my revenge on your great-granddaughter.
Who knew losing her skirt snake would make her so mad? With the threat delivered, she then serves up some handy exposition.
I will go to the bottom of the sea and join forces with the powers of evil.
And more credits. A Jalil Jackson film. He was the 6th member of the Jackson 5. Joe kicked him out for making this movie. No, not really. And here's Adam Stardust. I guess Ziggy was booked on another project. It's always a good sign when the star of the movie also did the makeup. Wonder if Harlan Ellison wrote this story too. I bet he sued these guys. Ass cameraman. There must be a lot of butts in this movie. First an ass cameraman, now an ass director. We're in for a shitload of butts. I've seen enough cheap foreign films to know a new title card when I see one. It has a better ring to it than the original title, Pemblasan Ratu Pantai Selatan. I feel like I probably just summoned a Kandarian demon saying that out loud. The film proper opens on Lady Terminator. I guess she couldn't find any punk rockers to take clothes from. She wanders into a school library and she meets Mr. Wing's cousin. He doesn't sell mogwai, he just sells straight up gremlins. Turns out she's come to borrow a book about the South Sea Queen legend. I guess she missed the prologue. Mr. Wing's cousin has a dire warning for her. Whoever reads this book gets in deep trouble. A fate worse than death.
Whoever finds the secret of the South Sea Queen will live in great danger of his soul.
But she's an anthropologist, huh?
I'm an anthropologist, huh?
Plus, she's wearing glasses. She's obviously smart. She decides that rather than just read the book, she's gonna go check out that South Sea for herself. Oh, they run into the cast of Anthropophagus out here. I love that it looks like this guy is taking a dump. Bet the ass cameraman set up that shot. When the captain warns her that she's sailing into a world of hurt, she once again reminds us that...
I'm not a lady, I'm an anthropologist.
I mean, this isn't any less believable than Laura Croft, I guess. After a whole lot of jibber-jabber, Budget Elaine wears the captain down and he agrees to take her to her doom.
Turn on the engine. Let's go.
What a sweet guy. With that settled, she swims her way right into some stock footage from Cruel Jaws. While she's underwater, the captain starts seeing things. Like the goddamn wave from the beginning of the movie. This version has fewer film scratches, though. This wave is one of those rogue waves, and well, I'm just gonna let this scene speak for itself.
Oh my God, what have I done?
That's the least weird thing happening though, because budget Salma Hayek swims through a wormhole and winds up in bed? She's all tied up, literally. And then she gets snaked out like a clogged pipe. Yeah, no way I can show that. With her snake IUD properly installed, Budget Salma washes up on the beach. She's looking a lot more confident. She immediately runs across these punks, and I feel like we might finally get some lady terminating. They hop in the backseat and get straight to business. Not gonna lie, I've seen adult films with more foreplay than this scene. Then she moves to the second guy. It appears the film's tagline of first she mates, then she terminates is eerily accurate. From there, she heads to this seaside hotel and rents the Sea Queen suite. But since there's no J&B in the wet bar, she trashes the place like she's Carrie White. But enough of that. Let's go to New York City. We stop by this bar where clearly shirts are optional if you're wearing a sweet vest. Anyway, our vest dude tells this lady her dress makes her ass look fat, and then we get multiple pimp hands. Then our hero, Kip Reese, joins the fray. Turns out he's a detective in Indonesia now, and he's on the hunt for a killer who's leaving bodies all over the city. And we get some really important dialogue.
Anything to eat?
Well, just hot dogs.
I really hate hot dogs.
Man, I'm glad we cleared that up. I bet Chekhov's wiener turns up in the third act. Wait, that sounds pervy. It feels like we've got a whole lot of movies happening, but sure, let's meet some new characters. We're introduced to an actress/singer, Sarah Connor, and her friend. I like that she's wearing the same headband Robert Kerman wore in Eaten Alive. I bet these movies are in the same cinematic universe.
I think I'm just too excited and nervous about the whole thing.
Sarah clearly went to the Shatner/Christopher Walken School of Dialogue Delivery. Afterwards, they head over to the K Jewelers at the mall, where Sarah's friend buys a familiar necklace, the South Sea Queen jewel. Man, this is just like Titanic. Then Lady Terminator shows up and she's not happy. She was gonna buy that necklace. She's watching her in Terminator vision, or someone just smudged some Smucker's strawberry jam on the lens. Honestly, both are equally plausible. She follows her, and man, now we're ripping off the subway bathroom scene in Maniac. Lady Terminator is a lot less sweaty than Joe Spinell, though. Come on, movie, don't lose focus now. Then it's time for terminating. Man, she even got the cleaning lady. But when she gets her hand on the necklace, she finds out it's a fake. I mean, come on. Everyone knows you can't get the real Queen of the South Sea necklace at Kate Jewelers. After that, she spots Sarah Connor on the TV at the mall, and she just starts blasting. Will this pay off? I'm guessing it will. The movie doesn't care about any of this because it keeps cutting away. Where the hell are we? Oh, it's Mr. Wing's cousin again. He's all out of Mogwai, but he's got this sweet magic dagger. I feel like this movie is ticking all of my boxes. Boobs, crotch snakes, magic daggers, gore. This is the best thing I've seen since American Rickshaw. And back in movie Pie, not Kyle Reese is checking out the bodies of the horny dudes from the beach. Man, that was a long drive from his precinct in Manhattan. All these dudes are able to string together about Lady T's victims is that they must have gone vegetarian because there's a lack of sausage at this party.
I've heard of the ultimate blowjob, but this is too much.
And here's some random chopper footage. Because sure, why not? I mean, this movie's only an hour and 20 minutes even with the padding. With that scene going nowhere, we cut to the club, where Sarah Connor practices her Star Search routine. Do you kids even remember Star Search? Christ, I'm old. I'm getting some very strong Prince Protégé vibes from this one. She's like Indonesian Vanity. Hey, it's Detective Reese. He spends as much time at bars as he does at work. Man, we're really gonna stop the movie so she can do this entire song. It's like Inagata Davida at this point. While Reese light ogles the local talent, Lady Terminator steps through a Claudio Fragasso set to join the party. Oh, this is supposed to be like the nightclub scene in Terminator. I get it now. With seconds to spare before Big Lots of Lane goes all yada yada yada, Reese jumps into harm's way. How convenient. And if you weren't yet convinced this was a Terminator ripoff, allow me to present my biggest piece of evidence.
Come with me if you want to live.
Our detective has completely channeled Kyle Reese down to the dialogue. I feel like I'm going to get sued by James Cameron and the estate of Harlan Ellison just for covering this. As they run down the alley, I must ask again, why is she chasing this girl? Because she saw her on TV? Either I missed something or the editor did. Eventually they escape in their Domino's Pizza delivery mobile. And Discount Sarah has some choice words for Kyle.
Why didn't she die?
How the hell should I know? You tell me, Mr. Big Shot.
And acting. Lady T is driving her stolen squad car in pursuit, and she's using the radio to track Sarah's whereabouts. They're heading westbound on Olympic, I bet. Before they know it, Lady Terminator is blasting again, and their cheap car goes kablooey. Guess it's time to hotwire another car. Wait, where the hell did that car come from? Was it already running? Super convenient. And now he's got a machine gun? God damn, I love this movie so much, you guys. I mean, this is not a Hollywood film. They're probably using real bullets. Fun fact, star Barbara Ann Constable not only did all of her makeup, she did her own stunts too. After a bunch of shooting at each other, Lady Terminator stops her car right after she hits a curb and backup arrives. If I check my notes, they'll be in the police station next. I smell jibber jabber. Oh, and now this clown is going to use the most famous line from Predator.
If it bleeds, it dies.
Indonesia just don't care.
Tell him I need help.
Right, Max. We're on our way.
They're just gonna fly from New York City to Indonesia? Do they even have jurisdiction? Will their captain sign off on this? Back to the plot, it turns out Mr. Wing's cousin is the singer's dad, and she's got the South Sea Queen's real necklace. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like we might have needed to know this sooner.
That evil is using this to track you down.
Then we get some exposition.
That woman cannot die because she has the spirit of the South Sea Queen.
After he goes over the prologue with Budget Bean and his partner, he gives Sarah Ish Connor the trouser dagger from her great-grandfather. I don't even want to know where that thing's been. If you were worried the movie was going to slow down, don't. Lady Terminator is back. Let's hope she doesn't hurt these guys from Special Security. Maverick! Next, she gets the drop on Roger Murtaugh. He only had 3 more days until retirement. She continues to blast her way through the precinct, and I could swear I've seen something else just like this. Then she goes to the breaker box and overloads it. It's like deja vu all over again. At least this guy should be safe. Oh, what the hell? She continues gunning down the entire precinct, then we get this weird-ass edit. And as Grandpa exits the scene, he rips off the Riddle of Steel speech from Conan the Barbarian.
People are weak and may fail, but this, you can trust.
Is there any Schwarzenegger movie Jalil Jackson won't rip off? Magic 8 Ball says no. Other Wing decides to take things into his own hands now that the entire precinct of 200 stormtroopers has been killed. I'm sure this is gonna go great. He's given her the eye. Both of them. She tries to blast her way through him, but he's wearing protection.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean, he's magical. Speaking of magic, next he blows a loogie into her eye. Man, this is some random shit. She gets right back up, though, and now her bullets started working. I guess she just needed a reboot. With Mr. Wing's cousin dead, she finally blasts her way to Sarah, but she and Kyle Jr. escape. If we stick with the Terminator, they're gonna go to a drainage tunnel next. Unable to find an underpass to hide in, they decide to rip off the next scene of Terminator in the woods, where filming is cheap. To make sure he gets a pity bang, Kyle tells Sarah about how his wife was horrifically murdered. And now he's ripping off Linda Day George.
Bastard.
Show him how it's done, Linda.
Bastard! Bastard!
Back in the interesting movie, Jalil Jackson runs down his Terminator ripoff list and realizes he's gonna have to fake that awesome eye removal scene now. I bet this will look super good. Oh yeah, flawless. Oh, she's just rinsing the eyeball and putting it back in. Why didn't Arnold think of that? The next morning, the waiter from Samurai Cop drops by to deliver room service. Good to see he's still getting work. From there, we join Kyle and Sarah at the mall. It does seem like a good time to go shopping, with everyone they know and love dead and not even buried yet. Unluckily for them, Lady Terminator needed to swing by Victoria's Secret, and now she's back on their trail. She starts blasting again, and I'm beginning to think Kyle took training on how to use innocent people as meat shields. The amount of collateral damage around this dude is off the charts. This leads to yet another car chase. Lady T has the worst car I have ever seen. It's just made of tape, Bondo, and primer.
My car!
With no factory to run to, Kyle and Sarah jog over to an airport. I must say, I'm impressed at this film's production value. And I can't believe I said that. Just when things look their bleakest, Kyle's partner from Special Security shows up with a chopper. Because of course he does. I knew that chopper from earlier was gonna pay off. Now all we need are hot dogs. The chopper drops off some help. Dylan, you son of a bitch. And then we get more action. So many explosions. They missed a golden opportunity to play some Doors here. Surely a single-family sedan can't have survived such a huge explosion, right? Wrong. It's a super sedan. Hopefully the freaking Panzer tank can take this thing out. The extra from Gummo decides to leave the relative safety of the Panzer because Elaine's car is just too strong. He goes running and Sledge Riprock drops a bomb on her like this is a Gap Band song.
You dropped a bomb on me.
That should do it. Oops, nope, she's still kicking.
Holy Moses!
Can we just give the poor lady the necklace? She clearly needs it. She kind of looks like a burned hot dog. Is this our callback? And now she's got laser eyes. Because of course she does. The chopper pulls Lady Terminator into its special net, but I guess he forgot about those laser eyes. Holy crap! This leads to the greatest line read in history.
Tom, my buddy.
Acting. We're subjected to even more pew-pew, and I'm just gonna say it. Why doesn't someone just try to talk to her at this point? It's obvious the only way to win this is with love. And some pliers to get that trouser snake out of her. Out of bullets, Kyle wants to go old school and rifle whip her. She's not impressed though, and she shows him the door. Now Sarah and Lady Terminator square off in our final showdown. Sarah's laying some pipe. Lady T is having none of that though, and she doles out a plethora of pimp hands. But just when all hope is lost, Sarah pulls out the Dagger Ex Machina and gives Lady T a poke. I can't help but notice Lady Terminator now kinda looks like the Brundlefly. And this is all pretty shocking. With the Terminator terminated, we head outside to a healthy Kyle? Damn it, I've been watching this whole time to see that stiff die. How is his shirt still clean? Then this doctor's like, alright, I've had enough of this movie. I'm gonna escort you to the credits now. And we get some closing narration. That's always the sign of a great movie.
The struggle within our souls is never ending. The life of man short and brutal.
So, what have we learned from Lady Terminator? Well, for starters, that an Indonesian Terminator ripoff can be pretty damned entertaining. I mean, shit, this is better than any of the official Terminator movies after T2. Yeah, I said it. And I meant it. Star Barbara Ann Constable never made another movie, and that's a tragedy. She says she never realized the film would be seen outside of Asia, but seems pretty comfortable with the cult reputation it's developed in the past 30 or so years. She could have been a B-movie queen, honestly. But enough about that. Can Lady Terminator blast her way to a 5 barf bag rating? Let's go to the gore card. In terms of gross anatomy, Lady Terminator delivers. We're treated to groin snakes, machine gun eviscerations, an eye removal, and a crispy Lady Terminator at the climax. There's enough splatter and all-around general weirdness here to earn Lady Terminator a 3 barf bag rating. This is a modestly sick flick, but it's also wildly entertaining. Looking for another low-budget riff on a popular movie? Then be sure to check out my review of Robo-War. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.